This week is Bully Awareness Week. It's an issue that unfortunately is prevalent in our schools and now with technology exists online, targeting anyone at any age, at any time. And all of this in the midst of a pandemic where children are feeling more vulnerable and confused. Tania DaSilva joins me now. She's a child and youth therapist. Tania, great to have you back on the program.
Thanks for having me back.
This is a huge issue. We've seen it among many kids, different age groups and whatnot. But talk to me about now, couple in the pandemic into all of this, and how has it become even more worse?
Well, we've always seen it when it comes to, the stats where 1 in 5 kids are saying that they are being bullied. Just within the LGBTQ community, 40% self-report. But with the pandemic, I actually read a study last week that said cyberbullying has gone up by 70%, which makes sense because we're all spending so much more time online. So the more time we spend online, the more opportunity. But what I find interesting is that when we are talking to our kids in the clinic, they're saying that there is a decrease in supervision, but there's also an increase in their feelings of stress and unhappiness and isolation and just simple boredom. And it's causing them to kind of participate or be bullied a lot more than they ever were.
And talk to me a bit more about the cyberbullying side of things. That can be more dangerous. It exists online. And we compare cyberbullying at times can be more detrimental, we could say perhaps, than physical bullying.
Well, and I think because the cyber part, there's such a bigger reach where if something's said, it can be shared or, seen by a whole bunch of different people, where when it was physical or verbal, it was just the people that were in that space. So definitely there are those impacts and that worry about other people seeing it or it not being able to be taken down. But I think especially with the climate that we're in now, there's such a divide online too, where if you don't have an opinion, you're being attacked. If you do, you're being attacked for that opinion. So a lot of kids are just stressed in general about what am I going to say? And if I don't say anything, am I still going to be attacked? So it's definitely an interesting time. Yeah,
and it's so easy to say whatever you want to say behind a keyboard. No one sees who you are. What's the advice then? What can kids do to protect themselves without becoming a victim even more?
Well, and I think there's two sides of it, because I find for us, we work with the kids that are doing the bullying, but we also work with a lot of kids that are actually being bullied. And it's funny because we do take a similar approach, which always kind of makes people scratch their head. But for kids that are doing the bullying, we always talk to parents, about modeling and paying attention to where they're learning these, skills or these approaches from, but to really give them the outlet to work on the skills that they're missing. So if they're communicating aggressively, teaching them how to communicate assertively. If they don't know how to problem solve, teaching them how to problem solve without treating other people poorly or bullying them online. And it's the same approach we take for our kids that are on the other side of that, where what skills do they need? Do they need to learn how to self-advocate, how to set boundaries? So really tapping into what do you need to protect yourself from that, but also what do you need so that that's not the route you're taking.
And I'm glad you're bringing the parent element into it as well, because parents, of course, are going to be asking, so what can I do without trying to hover over my child as well, because we want them to grow up to be strong and independent. But at the same time, we're also trying to protect our kids.
It's so true. And that's why we always talk about the modeling, because we all have opinions. So it's, what are you saying? And are your kids picking up on that? And, can you have conversations about that at home? But most importantly, going into that perspective taking aspect where sometimes kids are coming home and you want to protect them and, you want to go against, what they're hearing or what they're experiencing, but doing it in a way where we're tapping into perspectives, where that's someone's opinion of you. What's your opinion of you? And which one do you want to take on? Like, is this what you want to go to bed with? Or do you want to think about how we feel about you, how your other friends feel about you? And I think really just stressing the fact that perspectives are so different, and we see it so much now in our society where everyone has an opinion and different experiences, and there's not one that's right or wrong. It's just which one are we holding on to?
Such a critical conversation that needs to be had, continued need to be had there. But some great advice from you, child and youth and family therapist Tania DaSilva. Always great to seeing you, Tania. Thanks again for this.
No problem. Take care.
You too.